We talk about, well, you can't really love other people until you love yourself. Well, what does that really mean? Working from the inside out gets you there faster. It gives you the answer, and it gives you your answer.
Your answer, which
Not
could
my
be unique.
answer.
Absolutely, that's true.
Right.
That's great, and I think that's where I have been disconnected a lot. I think about myself as being a loving person, but there are disconnections from my heart, because I did grow up in a dysfunctional, codependent, alcoholic family with a lot of words and things being said and done that are my belief system that I'm working on now to change, to dispel those old beliefs that I've always operated from that aren't serving me and keeping my heart closed.
Right. And we have to rewire the
authentic.
system.
Rewire the system, absolutely. And the rewiring is the energy field.
Right.
And the energy field is the foundation of everything in our lives.
Right. Yeah.
Everything comes from energy.
Another thing that informed this whole process for me, I had my own history to work with, and had some real physical challenges at a certain point. And I realized that at 3 o'clock in the morning, there's nobody else there but you.
Yeah, and you got to have some tools.
So if you have some tools, you have some abilities to really work with yourself. And I often think of my work as giving people a full toolkit.
Yeah.
Because there isn't any one thing that works for
full
everything.
Toolkit. That's what we all need, a full toolkit. And they are all our own tools, and they're not necessarily a physical thing. In fact, they're not a physical thing at all. It's information, it's knowledge, it's these things that you teach.
It's embodied wisdom, eventually.
Embodied wisdom.
Yeah.
I love that term too, embodied wisdom, because once you get doing it, this is no-brainer once you get going on it, and wow, works. It works.
Right.
Because you're addressing the right place, the right way in your life.
Right.
And so, would you say the first step or the best step? It sounded like is grounding, teaching people
Grounding
how to
and
go down.
centering.
Grounding
It's
and
not
centering.
very romantic, but it's really.
But you can make it romantic. We can make it.
It is the
something good
most
about it.
important thing, and it is one of the most rewarding things.
Mm-hmm.
One of my teachers is Valerie Hunt.
Oh, really? Dr. Valerie Hunt.
Oh, you know her?
Yes, I have one of her books. I don't know if she wrote more than one book or not.
Well, she did, but her main book
Is Cross Currents something?
No.
It's I haven't looked at it for a long time.
Yeah, I haven't
It was a
either.
book I needed to study.
But she really was the one who first taught me that how spiritually people are doing a spiritual bypass. We take our energy and we go up and out, and isn't that a trip? Isn't it wonderful? You feel bliss. It's not very helpful in real life.
No,
It's nice for a break, but we have to live here. And if a lot of your energy is out here, there's nobody here minding the store.
That's right.
So that makes you vulnerable.
That's been my modus operandi all my
Right.
life. My defense is to leave my body and not
And then
be
you're
here.
unsafe with other people because
Right.
you're not able to perceive.
Mhm.
When you're fully embodied, you might see and hear some things you do not like. You see people more clearly.
Mhm.
So it
having
really,
some tools
it's
to handle that.
protective to help you know who do I get involved with and who do I not. And what it does is it takes away that capacity of fooling yourself. So people don't always enjoy some of this process is, now I have to see who's really in front of me. Well, that's the way to really be safe in the long run.
It is, with an open heart, because that's where the
Right.
power is.
Right, but it might mean you have to make some choices and decisions that you'd rather not.
Right, right. And so I know a lot of people, because I do energy work as well, and a lot of people would come to me and they love being in meditation, and they love being out here, and I would teach them to ground, and they said they didn't want to ground because they don't.
Right.
I'm not supposed to be in my body. Yes, you need to come in and center and be present in order to
Right.
really function fully.
Yeah, and this is what Valerie Hunt had taught me is you get in and center and ground. Now you stay, you've got a tether, you've got a ground wire.
Ah.
Now you raise the energy,
Uh-huh.
but you're still grounded.
Yes.
Now whatever information, wisdom, whatever you get here from a higher level,
Mm-hmm.
becomes useful, you bring it in and through.
Yes, grounding helps the information become useful.
Right.
Well, that's fabulous that you studied with Valerie Hunt, because I went to Barbara Brennan School, and Barbara was one of her students as well, who worked with her in her experiments on consciousness and the energy and all of that stuff.
I know, and I wish I had said to her once, when are you going to do some more workshops? And she said, oh, no, honey, I have to stay in the lab and do the research.
She just loved doing that.
Yeah, which is, I mean, someone
it's very
has
important
to do
yeah.
that, so that those of us who are in different positions have the information. So
right. Well, that's fabulous. So you've come a long way, baby.
I'm old.
A long way. No. Not that old. You look beautiful. You look lovely. You've started in the medical model, and you're still so that you can hold that paradigm at the same time, bringing in the greater consciousness of what we've separated from, but bringing it back in together and bringing them. Molding them, or you have this ability because you have the knowledge and the experience.
Right, and I think where we're headed is an integrative medicine.
I think so.
We've been through some of the battleground of one's better than the other. It's just not true.
No, it's not true.
We've had tremendous strides in medicine, and we want to use those. It's just that we want to use both fields appropriately.
Right, right. And some people do need to be on medication, so sometimes they're in a crisis situation where the medications will bring them down from that, and then the work on the energetic level can then, once they're stable, can then help them on the next level if they're desiring to go in that direction.
And there are some people who just came with a situation that isn't amenable to the mind-body energy tools for whatever reason. Because I've had patients who we've tried to work with all these things. They've worked hard, and they just couldn't live without that antidepressant. They just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And they would actually get angry. You're the person who's supposed to, you're not supposed to believe in that. Well, I think that's good that you believe in that, because you do have that balance. Right. It just, if you need it, you need it. It's.
Well, some people even might grow up desiring drugs as a way of being able to cope with the world, and for whatever reason.
Yeah, and it's only a small percentage. Most people can benefit by using these tools and techniques and going off and being able to have a great life, but there are some who don't. And as I was saying too, that people who have a serious illness, they have surgery, they whatever, to be able to use these tools in conjunction with these other modalities is a wonderful thing. The other thing that I have become very interested in as I age is the consciousness of aging and how you do that. I've watched both my parents age and dad die, and mother is not quite there yet, without tools.
And it would be so much easier. I did the same thing. Both of my parents have gone, and having this knowledge of the energy and different and stuff they could be doing to help themselves be okay.
And there's no way
they can't go there.
There's no way that you can teach it. Well, I shouldn't say to anybody.
Well, they have to want to learn it.
Right. Certain people, if you look at these patterns that have been embedded over decades,
right,
those just aren't going to change very easily. The person has to be open to it. Now, my father was open to energy work, and I did a lot with him.
Well, that must have made you feel good.
Yeah.
To be able to help him on some level.
My mother,
she's not there.
Can't. So as I watch people white knuckle it through their later years and their dying years, it's not easy. So
Right.
I think as we develop our consciousness, we learn how to be with ourselves in the world in a different way, then our later years can be much more rewarding.
Yes.
They can be healthier. And my hope is that our dying will be different than the struggles that we see in some people.
I hope so. That's a great note to bring to a conclusion today on, because I really feel the same way, at least with my life, that the more conscious I can become, then in my later years, and as I go into my death or whatever, hopefully it'll be different than the way.
Transition to another field.
Yes, transition. I'll be in a that's right, because we transition. We just change. We just shed this physical body.
Right.
Is there anything that you wanted to add before we call it a day? Anything we missed?
I can't think of anything oh, well, I guess I would say that I certainly would hope that people would take a look at KarenKallie.com and LivingEnergyWorks.com.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of information on Karen Kallie. There are free recordings, articles. I've been writing a blog for 4 or 5 years, so there's a lot of information there.
Great, and we can all use that information.
Yeah. So I would hope that people would take a look at that, sign up for the newsletter, take the chakra test, and if anyone has any questions, please email me.
Great. So that's Karen Kallie, KALLIE.com. And it sounds like, I know I was just on your website because I pulled some stuff up in case we didn't have enough to talk about, but of course we had plenty to talk about.